Okay, we should start. But wait, first, name for Mr. Kitty. Quick, just think of one.
Russet Warriors!
No!
King Edward, that's a type of potato. But it would also be a cute name for a cat.
We're gonna call him Edward.
In our last session, our intrepid adventurers spent a while at the Black Sheep Bar, learning about the new Lord Phyros, reading up
there's
on...
the orc. Sorry. I'll stop. I'm sorry.
Oh, this is just making me laugh. Okay.
Okay, take two.
I don't even know whether to start from the beginning or just leave that in and continue.
Then you think.
Okay, so yes, the orc thing.
Sorry. I got excited because I remembered it.
Yes, it's been like a month. We're all a little giddy, I think, to be back.
I have a wisdom score of 9.
Alright, so the orc thing, reading up on events in Shady Alley, and threatening hapless bargoers for breakfast. The three then beat up some thugs because a cat looked scared, on their way to rendezvous with Parse and Tarsus. So
It
now
sounded more heroic at the time.
Oh, because of that scared.
Which one's Parse and Tarsus? I know who they are. Which one's which? I get them mixed up.
Parse is the wizard, and Tarsus is the mysterious half-elf sort of person.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a badass.
Their next steps seem to be to focus on the affairs that brought them to the city in the first place, while waiting for Parse to get permission from his House Amerim contacts to research poisons and possibly cats in their library. So Tarsus has just offered to take you around the city on your errands. You're right outside Parse's house on the hill, and the questionable cat is with you.
So I've been talking to the cat, I say.
Yeah. Oh, right. There was the thing where I couldn't talk to it using my spell.
Well, I was talking to it like a regular person would talk to a cat, which means I meowed back at it, even though I don't think it understood me. And I've decided that, well, the cat decided that we should call him Edward.
As the cat wishes.
I mean, I don't really care what the cat's name is. It's with us. I deal with it.
And I'm like, I'm just like, okay, well, that was quick.
So do I get my spell slots back after a full rest, or how does that work again?
After a full rest. Hopefully you've been keeping track of what spells and stuff you still have, because I haven't.
Yeah, I'm out of spells.
Yeah, same here.
I'm out of spells. That's why I'm asking when I get, other than cantrips, I guess I always have those.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I asked, because I can't do spells.
I mean, it sounds like you're just going on errands today, so what could go wrong?
I don't trust this.
I don't like the way you said that. See, all this happened like just a few minutes ago, but it feels like it's been a month.
Yeah, you're just kind of dazedly looking at each other.
Just like, duh.
I'm trying to remember how to deal with you guys.
Tarsus is just kind of looking at you all.
We're having normal conversations that normal people normally have.
Conversation.
Yeah, so I know. So I have a place to go, and you have a place to go.
And Laura has a place to go.
Yeah.
Wasn't she here to see her fam?
Okay, are we going wherever we're going as a group?
Well, if you want Tarsus to lead you, there's only one of her.
Okay.
Damn it, Tarsus.
You were all like sneaky and cool, and I thought you could duplicate yourself.
But really, you're just one person.
I've never been so disillusioned.
And she's just like, why?
What if I roll persuasion to make you be more than one person?
I don't think it works that way. Whoa, those weird carriage sounds, right?
There's just like a carriage running over a clock in the middle of the road.
It's the new clockwork carriage.
Yeah.
Okay, and I had that list from when I originally came over here that the parents...
Very confusing list your parents made up.
Yeah.
Being like, question mark? Which we interpreted literally.
Yes.
It also having been several decades since your dad had been in town, and he was privately tutored, and he was more of a wizard sorcerer background, so...
Yes.
I'd say this bard guy might know more than... I wrenched the like paper that your parents like wrote out for you, and it's literally just like a bunch of question marks and like 5 words.
It's like
And
all
like...
these interconnected lines, but mostly just leading to question marks.
Question mark? And I'm like, maybe you should speak to this bard guy like Tarsus was suggesting.
Well, I guess I could try, but I think I should at least check out some of these places.
And like the other half of the list is like
place?
a grocery list or something.
Milk, butter.
And then you're scandalized to see that potatoes are not on the list.
No, whatever. I assume that you just get like weekly imports of your fine potatoes.
You don't have to write it down. It's such an obvious ingredient.
Yeah, duh.
Well, plus we're on good terms with your character's family, so. Okay, anyway, I'll just tag along for whatever you're doing for now.
We like flip the list over, and there's just like a doodle of like of like this like really awful like stick horse.
You mean really beautiful stick horse? This is the best stick horse because it was made for me with love.
And then there's like a question marks around the horse too.
He clearly put a lot of thought into this.
Okay, moving on.
Tarsus is kind of looking at you guys and being like, do I need to pick randomly?
Too fast. Apparently, we can't make a decision.
Okay, let's just like go out the door. That's the first step.
We're already out the door.
Oh, we are?
No, we were outside.
Yes,
Oh.
I say.
I didn't notice.
Did you see that carriage run over that clock?
I thought we were inside. I think I need to reduce my wisdom score even more.
I'm literally crying right now. Oh my gosh.
On the other hand, I have an intelligence of 16.
Okay.
I did not know it would be this difficult to restart.
No, I honestly am like whoever's on the way first. Either the bard guy or like the paladin thing or like Bly. If you start recognizing where you are and want to go to your parents, I'm like, I don't care. I got me and Edward. We'll follow you. We're good.
What if my parents don't like cats?
Well, I guess we'll sadly wait outside.
You guys just standing at the window holding the cat.
And let it just like looking through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
slowly inching closer to the window. Just your eyes are visible above it.
Because I'm that short.
Yes.
My parents being like, what kind of friends do you have with you?
And you're like, they're not my friends.
There's people that I happen to be with, and I don't like them at all.
Let's do that.
Should we go to my house?
Okay. I guess we're visiting Bly's parents first.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I think they tolerate cats enough that you guys can come inside with Edward.
And I'm like, Edward,
Yeah, sure.
do you promise to behave?
And he's like, meow.
Or he's just like, he just does that thing where cats just like have that like resting cat face. And I'm like, okay, good.
As long as he doesn't scratch stuff up, we should be okay.
Okay, so I guess we're like, Tarsus, lead us to wherever the district or whatever that Laura's house is at. We're going there, I guess.
Yeah.
I did have a question. I was wanting to know whether Bly had written her parents at all.
You're just like, surprise!
I don't think. Wait, I think I do have a little bit on them. Wait. Actually, I think it's stuff that you wrote. Where her parents are like. Oh, I remember something about like. Her mom. Like, they kind of let her do her thing, but they're also super worried about her. So it seems like they would definitely. Like, if she randomly appears and she's like, hey, I'm home for like a half an hour to talk to you, they would be super happy about it.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, when you're out, basically, like, at the front, how much contact did you keep in with them?
Probably, no character, not very much.
Okay.
Maybe like a line or two every once in a while.
Okay, so a little bit, but not like complete radio silence for 10 years or whatever.
Yeah. We kept in contact, but it's not like we talked all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So probably Tarsus would start to lead you, but as you keep going in the city, Bly takes over because she knows where she's going more. And you end up like you're on a shabby but clean street. Small houses line the way. Some of them obviously broken down further into tenements, and everything's packed very closely. Faded clothes that were once vibrantly colorful hang on lines. Potted herbs, medicinal plants, and other useful plants hanging from sills are placed precariously on roofs to catch the sun. Elderly people of all races sit and keep an eye on the children playing in the street. And Bly, your house is the same after all these years. The same dusty rose curtains, the aloe vera plant on the roof for Kotaro's hands, and the air smells like sunshine here.
Oh, I'm feeling a little sentimental.
Would you like me to compose a song about it?
Oh my god, no. Okay.
I'm just like, oh, this place seems nice.
I'm not quite sure if any of the neighbors would recognize me. I guess it's been long enough that I'm a lot older than I was when I left.
Maybe they're doing that thing where they're like, but they aren't sure since
Yeah.
even if it's not like you write your neighbors when you're away.
I feel like you would definitely all be watching us super closely as we come up the street.
Yeah, they're keeping an eye on you, and you do see that a few of them kind of nod to you. Like you do look very much like Kotaro, so like they can kind of recognize you from that.
Yay.
I guess Skara and I look a bit out of place.
A little bit.
I probably distance myself from you guys a little bit. I could see myself walking with you guys acting like you're not really with me, even though you obviously are. Cool. So we approach the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to decide if I ring the doorbell or if I just walk in. I'll ring the doorbell. It's polite.
Okay, there's a few moments go by, and the door opens, and there's Kotaro. Basically, she looks like Bly, though a bit older, like her scales are worn and cracked from work. She stares kind of dumbfounded for a minute, and then she shouts like, Bly, you're here. I wasn't expecting you. Come in.
And I sort of walk over to...
I just walk right in after her. I don't even wait for permission. I'm just like, cool.
And I'd like...
I'm like, hi, Bly's mom.
Like, only then does she seem to notice you. Like, she was so focused on Bly, and
I'm just like cocking my head and waving.
She looks so happy.
Aww.
She's just like, oh, you made friends again. Oh, I'm so happy. Come in. And Tarsus is kind of like hanging back, but Kotaro waves her in as well. And so I guess you all kind of go inside.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love your mom.
Yeah, we're friends. I even wrote a song about our friendship.
I told my mom right away not to listen to you sing.
I would love to hear it, please.
Mom, come on. He will never.
They call us goblins.
Oh.
Friendlier than a goblin. Goblin.
It's beautiful. I love it.
That's as much as I've written so far. It's a work in progress.
Well, that's very nice. Thank you for sharing with me.
I can't think of anything else that rhymes. I guess I could say it's not a problem, but that doesn't quite rhyme.
Anyway.
How are you doing, Mom? I just don't really know what to say.
Oh, I'm good, but how about you? You've been away, and isn't it kind of dangerous up there?
It is, but I can handle myself.
How long are you staying? Are you actually coming home, or?
No, we're just kind of passing through. I stopped by to say hi and popped in to see how you and Mom are doing. Sorry that my friends had to come along. But I couldn't leave them outside on their own. They might wander off.
We can't be trusted.
This is true.
Well, that's really nice, and I'm sorry she's at work right now. I mean, I would be at work too, but, well, last week something kind of strange happened, and my contract was dropped, but it's fine though. I'll find something again soon. It's not too difficult to find work cleaning in different houses.
Your contract? You got laid off?
Oh, well, just one of them. I just went in once a week to Master Eltsu's house, and I guess I heard something I shouldn't have, but I don't know. He just kind of stormed into the room when I was in there, and I guess he didn't see me, but he was talking to his partner and said something about like Vesicima, and then he noticed I was there, and well, you don't really want to hear about my work, though. I'm going to find a contract again soon. I still have the other houses that I'm cleaning, so it's fine.
But that was completely unfair to you. It wasn't your fault.
Yes, well. But you must be thirsty. You all must be thirsty. I'll get some water for everyone. She kind of bustles off, and you kind of take a moment to take in the house. Like colored glass sun catchers spin lazily in the windows, and the scent of all the herbs and spices used for cooking seem to have seeped into the wood over the years. She comes back with water for everyone, and it's room temperature, but it has a light lemon thyme flavor.
If they're hiding something, that's troubling.
Oh, well, I don't know about that, you know. I'm sure it's just some sort of business thing. You know, he's a respected merchant, and maybe trade secrets or something.
Fishy. Like, I mean, like, Mimi. My character is probably like, that's super unfair. I think we should go tell that guy to hire you back, or at least apologize, because that's what big boys do.
Oh, no, I wouldn't make a big deal out of it. You know, I also, he didn't, you know, say anything bad about me. But if you bother him, I don't know. I rely on my reputation for getting work, and
Well, we don't have to mention you by name. We could just tell him that we're investigating his business and hiring practices. I'm from a noble family. I can say that it's, you know, a big important person thing.
That does not sound persuasive at all.
I can say that I'm there on official business as on behalf of the house that I belong to.
no, I shouldn't have mentioned anything, really. Tell me more about how you met Bly.
Oh man.
I was avoiding doing something that I was legally required to do.
I thought she looked cool.
And I was with her. So when she thought she looked cool, then we kind of tagged together.
You've been with me?
Yeah, then we murdered some bushes.
I still feel bad about that.
Oh,
Yeah?
well. Just...
It was a real bonding experience.
It was. Great times.
But the guy who the bushes belonged to actually was not who we thought he was. And then he was really weirded out by the fact that we broke into his house.
Did I mention we broke into a house? That's how we met.
Well, we met before we broke into the house, but that was
our defining friendship moment.
First time we made a decision as a group.
Oh, I can tell you're all just mischievous like Tobin.
I like how she's like, oh, you kidding.
mysterious like who?
Oh, maybe I shouldn't have brought it up.
Wait, was that my old friend?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought. Yeah, I guess I'll tell Scar and Sloan that That was my friend who I trained with. But that's all I say.
Oh, that sounds cool. Can we meet?
Oh no!
Maybe sometime.
Yay!
Oh my gosh, do not sing a song about it.
Well, I wasn't going to, but now that you give me the idea.
Oh, I always assume that you're about to sing.
Just at any moment.
Let's meet your friend. It's a short song.
I guess I tend to attract that kind of people. People who break into houses and fight bushes. That's kind of friends.
Tarsus is still there too. She's just kind of like looking around, not saying anything, obviously.
Oh, I point at her. She's the one who told us to break into the house.
She glares at you.
It's okay. We're friends now.
She also has left her glass of water on like a counter, and the cat has jumped up and started drinking from it.
Also,
cat does that too.
Also, there's this whole thing involving this dead guy under like suspicious circumstances.
I don't know why we're telling her this, but okay.
I'm making conversation.
This is how you make conversation?
How do you make conversation?
I don't know. I usually ask them what their favorite kind of potato is. What's your favorite kind of potato? Or like, how do you cook it? Mashed potato, boiled potato, fried potato.
Well, I sometimes make these little dumplings.
That sounds good.
You're really good.
And I'm just like, and I'm like, see, that's how you make a nice, normal conversation with people.
Okay.
I feel like I had some weird childhood lessons that I taught Tlawin.
Did you know that she babysat me?
And then there was probably like a point where you like got taller than me, and I was just like, at like the age of like, I was probably like 60 something, and you're like, I don't know, like 11, and suddenly you had like your growth spurt, and you're like moody middle school person, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I wrote a lot of emo songs when I was about 15. They were about how my heart was getting broken and about how life hurt.
I had to listen to them. Okay, we're getting off topic. We're like ransacking this beautiful conversation, that reunion that should be happening between Bly and her mom.
So, do you have a place to stay at all? You can always stay here, Bly. And I'm sure Drake would love to see you as well if you wanted to stay that long.
I'll let you know, Mom. We've got some other things to do and some errands to run today. We'll see where we end up, and maybe I'll come back in a couple hours.
She just kind of looks down and nods.
Oh.
Oh,
I love her. Oh, I love her.
I feel bad, but I got things to do.
You haven't visited home in like a decade.
Okay, I promised my mom that I'll spend some more time with her within this period of time that we're in town.
Aww.
Especially when my other mom is back from work, so that way we can all enjoy time together. Maybe have dinner.
Dumplings.
Yeah, because you make the dumplings? Those are so good. I miss those.
I'll make sure to get as much feast prepared as I can in the time I have.
Man, we're coming back for dinner, guys.
We'll be back to eat.
Yeah, we can tell you about our cat-related adventures.
By the way, this is Edward. The cat's like drank half of the water now and is like doing that thing where it's like ready to like knock everything off the table. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh no.
I'm pretty sure he's Bly's favorite member of the group.
It's probably because he doesn't talk.
Is it okay if my friends join us again later?
Of course. I'd love to see your friends more.
You called us your friends?
I was actually about to say the same thing.
I was next in front of my mom.
Aw.
Group hug!
No.
I feel like a group hug just like would not work. I'd just be like, eh.
You could hug someone's leg.
How tall is Bly?
I think, let's see, 6'2".
Oh,
Oh, she's tall. I mean, I'm only.
You on your head, probably.
Oh, I know. I wrote it down. I don't know why I wrote it down. I'm literally 2 feet and 1 inch shorter than you are. I'm 4'1".
oh.
Probably just pat you on your head
Then
and just be like, okay.
I was probably taller than you when you started babysitting.
Oh. That would be hilarious.
Because, like, the earliest childhood, I wasn't adopted yet anyway.
Oh, that's true.
So,
So that I can just imagine the scene right now where your dads are like, "Okay, Tawin, come meet your babysitter." And you're like imagining this, like, you know, maybe this older lady who's like taller than you and whatever and wise and whatever, and then you like come through the doorway and it's just like, and I'm just like, "Hey." And you like look down and you're like,
but that's okay. We can be buddies anyway.
Is there, you know, and I'm like, well, Bly, if you want to like stay here and chat with your mom for a little bit, I want to like separate you guys. I feel guilty. I feel so guilty. I'm like, oh man, she hasn't seen her mom's in 10 years. Right, Edward? Meow!
Yeah. And this is making my character be like, oh yeah, I was supposed to write to my dad's.
Like a while ago. They're probably like, why hasn't he arrived yet?
No, this is like your second day here.
Oh,
Oh, was that Mr. Kitty and Edward?
Sure.
Any random cat noises from now on are designated Edward.
I don't know. I mean, is it okay if our group splits up?
It's up
Was
to you,
there
man.
anywhere else in particular you want to go?
Not really.
Like, I just want to be with Mom.
I'll see my parents again. Maybe I'll stay and chat with her.
Yeah.
I'll try to ask her a little bit more about.
Yeah, maybe she'll divulge more if we're gone.
I'll try to get more out of her. Let you guys come back for dinner.
Okay. How about I'm like, yo, Tarsus, I feel like we should. I like how I'm just like, yo. Tarsus, how about are any of Tlowin or maybe the Paladin place close to here? Because I think Bly secretly wants to stay here for a little while longer. Maybe we should come back for her.
I'll talk to my mom as we make dumplings.
Aww. Tarsus kind of stands pretty quickly.
She's like, I'm ready.
Although Kotaro comes up to you guys before you leave, and she says, if I may ask, since you seem to be traveling with my daughter right now, if you could take care of Fly for me. She sometimes tries to do too many things by herself when she should ask for help.
Oh.
I'm just like, my heart.
She will always have our help whether she wants it or not.
And I never want it.
And Kotaro gives you all a quick hug before you leave.
Oh,
Oh man.
oh man. Oh, jeez. I love her.
I'm a great mom.
Like, I just want you to you to meet my parents, and we can all be like a happy family. And
You all leave Bly to catch up, and where are you off to next?
I say we go to my place next, since it's like a physical place, rather than like Ben might get sidetracked to go to another place. I don't remember, what color is Edward?
I suppose I was thinking of him as kind of like an orangish cat, because I have one for reference.
Good.
Just kind of
He
like
blends well with my orangish hair.
Well, just kind of like a sandy color.
Okay, cool.
oh yeah, actually, I guess we both have orangish hair, don't we? I think mine might be redder.
I don't know. Mine's probably browner, like a potato. Okay, cool.
Alright, so you kind of leave the worn, but what seems to be like a loved street behind.
Yeah.
You
I'm like, aren't they so cute?
And I'm like, I love them.
I'm like, we need to like get your parents and my parents and her parents together sometime.
So that they could just be cute parents together.
Yeah.
And we're like, Tarsus, what about your parents?
She does not answer.
Aww.
Oh.
She just kind of keeps leading you forward, and you start to get into an area of town that's more just kind of grungy and dark.
Oh no.
Not too many people are around. The air kind of tastes like soot, and distant hammering tells you that this is the haunt of blacksmiths.
Perfect.
And Tarsus leads you to a small, run-down outpost. The wooden door creaks open. Doesn't seem to have a lock, though a bit of string hangs from the other side.
Oh boy, I was imagining something way different from this.
I bet you were.
Sky was like, oh yeah, it'll be like next, it'll be this amazingly lavish building, and it'll be like awesome, and like everyone will have like new shiny armor and shit.
Instead, 7 holy symbols hang on the walls, but not too much else.
So are they holy symbols for different deities or the same one?
Yep. The basically, there's 8 main deities, but only 7 tend to have symbols that are displayed. And the floor kind of creaks as you're walking in, so human woman is kind of alerted to your presence, and she looks out. Her skin is almost like charcoal. It's so dark, and her hair is cut into a short, high-top fade style. She is wearing full plate, but it's almost matte how unshiny it is.
Oh.
She looks a little confused to see you there, and she says, "Yes, can I help you?"
I'm like, I'm here to enroll.
I'm just musical backup.
And I'm like, I came here seeking paladin training.
Paladin.
Yep, I say, pointing at my holy symbol that's on my shield.
Well, from your tone, this doesn't sound like what you're expecting.
And I was like, I was kind of expecting something shinier.
Oh, it seems like paladins are the old order. The land doesn't seem to need the holy knights that fought monsters in the dark. And, well, there are still few paladins with the lawkeepers now, but most of the lawkeepers don't really believe they received a divine ordinance to do their work, so we're a dying breed, I suppose.
And I'm just like, no! And I'm like, well, I still believe that this was my calling, so, I came here with that purpose backing me.
So what I'm getting from this is that you need a PR campaign?
Tlalone's like, because I can give you the most excellent PR campaign. And I'm like, well, you can't really, PR for people to, find the calling to become a paladin.
Go get a calling, march off to battle, fighting the monsters in the dark. Then you will be a mighty hero and will be sung of forever, even though you might get killed. Boom, boom.
So, while he's doing that, she just kind of tunes it out, but she flashes you a white smile, Skara, and is just kind of like, you get it. You can't really force people to become paladins. They have to find it in themselves.
And I just nod sagely, meanwhile ignoring Thlawin.
I'm like, I think this could work.
And she sticks out her hand and she says, "I'm Kadahai Radau. Pleased to meet you."
So I shake it back, probably a little bit more vigorously. And I'm like, oh, I'm Skara Ekabald.
This is what's left of the Diligent Order.
And I just kind of nod my head, and I'm like, it's still bigger than my room. Bigger than the house I grew up in. And probably nicer, too. So I'm like, okay. Guess it's slightly shinier than what I was raised in. And I'm like, also, by the way, do you guys need a cat?
I don't believe we need a cat.
Can the cat stay here with me? His name is Edward. Edward's just like,
I suppose he could stay here. I suppose you could stay here as well. We do have some room available. I would want to have you go through a screening to make sure that,
not evil.
yes, that would be slightly anathema to what we're going for.
And I'm like, okay, I'm all for rules and regulations. I love
I'm
those.
not, but this sounds reasonable. Just so long as you're not going to screen me. I'm not evil.
You're not applying.
Yes, I must also screen all your friends and your cat. And anyone
I'm
you've
sorry.
talked to in the last 10 minutes.
I'm sorry, but this cat is lawful
Including
evil.
the rosemary bush.
Especially the rosemary bush. That bush is super lawful evil.
Little did you know.
It's the mastermind of this whole campaign.
Alright, so Katahai kind of scrambles around a little bit, going back to a desk and searching for some papers, and she comes back with more forms, and
Fun.
yeah, and gives those to you, and, you know, on there, besides asking for your full name, it does have a box to check whether you,
Are
whether
evil
you... No! Whether you registered as a citizen or not. Well, whether, you know, you went to the Hemomancy Center to register or not.
Oh, the thingy that I didn't do?
Right.
Which I did. So
Right.
I'm like, yes, I sure did doodle that.
I look over your shoulder and I'm like, how do you deal with all of that?
And I'm like, I guess this is what it means to be an adult. Just filling out forms. But then there's like some like really weird questions on there, like, I don't know, like chocolate or vanilla. Choose the right one.
Is this actually like the Pottermore quiz?
See whether you'll be sorted into paladin or evil. There's no in between.
Or it could be to see... It could be to sort you under, like, which god you're under or something.
Like a personality quiz.
Yeah.
If you see someone being evil in an alleyway, do you A, politely tell them to stop, B, run away, C, confront them in the name of your god, or D, help them?
Not yet. We haven't gotten to the ethics quiz yet. This is just the forms.
Oh man. Anyway, I fill it out and I give it back to her.
She nods and says, all right, I'll need a little bit of time to go through and check to make sure that everything's filled out accurately before I actually initiate you. There also is an ethics quiz
I'm like, sure.
that I can administer to you now.
And I'm like, great. Let's do it.
All right.
Lawful good.
No, chaotic good. Oh wait, I'm not taking the test.
No.
She's like, once again, no one but Scar needs to take this exam.
Yeah.
I'm chaotic. I'll do what I want.
Tarsus puts a hand
You
on your
can't
shoulder.
keep me from taking the exam if I want to.
Tarsus puts a hand firmly on your shoulder and kind of walks backwards with you for a little bit to get you out of the way.
I won't take exams that I'm made to take, but if I'm made to not take an exam, I will take it. I'm sorry, you probably had much more serious plans for this campaign.
You haven't heard my ethics quiz yet.
Well, anyway.
Okay. So, Catahai begins. You wake up one morning with a cold. Do you A, stay home and rest, or B, go out and slay monsters?
And I'm like, I always wake up and slay monsters. B, I'm 100%. Go for it. B.
She makes a little check mark. Then you accidentally break an expensive vase and have no way of paying for it. Do you A, walk away, it's not your problem, or B, go along with the owner's payment plan of helping out with his host club?
Oh man, I'm like, first of all, I don't know why he would look at me and be like, I want you to pay me back by being in my host club. But I would feel obligated to help pay back for it some way. So I guess I'll go with B. And I'm like, wait, do I have to dress like a guy to do it?
Don't you kind of...
You're making assumptions about the way guys dress in this campaign.
Well, maybe it's about the host clubs that I've been to. Everyone wears a fine suit.
Rather than chainmail. Alright, and then she continues on to the next question. Your friends are planning to break into someone's house. Do you A...
Oh, no! Oh, no! Continue.
Do you A, join them, B, alert the owner of the house, or C, dissuade your friends and lead them on the path of righteousness?
And I'm just like...
And then, meanwhile, in the distance, I'm like waving my arms, being like, ooh, I know this one.
And I'm like, what if you've been convinced to break in because by a person because that person said that they would die otherwise? You need to get something that will cure them, and I just kind of like babble it out to her.
It seems to be a fairly straightforward question. Would you A, join them, B, alert the owner of the house, or C, dissuade your friends and lead them on the path of righteousness?
And I'm like, and then you do try knocking on the house. I have to say that their knocking is to be had. They're very clear knocking to be had, and there was no answer. We tried to do. There was like half of a path to righteousness over there with the knocking, and I just kind of like babble more stuff out.
This question seems to be distressing you.
And I'm like, distressing.
This is a hypothetical question, right?
This is a hypothetical question. If it distresses you so much, we can continue on and come back to it later.
And I'm like, okay, let's go back to it later.
All right. She makes a little note on her piece of paper.
Oh dear.
Like, this girl's crazy.
I will admit, those sorts of questions were written into our initiation exam before my time here. I do have a question of my own that I have added. It's a little different.
Like, okay.
It goes as follows. The mob thickens in the choking, miserable night. They are angry, and among them are those you thought of as friends. Their target, alone and despairing, is one you believe to be innocent, or true, or just. You may come to great physical and social harm. What do you do?
And I just kind of like stop babbling. So I'm like, man, this is a tough kind of ethical dilemma because, you know, your friends have been with you this whole time, and, you know, for better or worse, you've put your trust into them. But if there's this person that you think is innocent or wrongfully targeted or whatever, and if they're trying to persuade you or are, you know, actually like going and trying to like do something, I don't think that's right necessarily. You know, I think I would try to defend this person, even if it meant, you know, having to come into an altercation with my friends. But at the same, I don't think I would be physically able to stop my friends. Like, I wouldn't be able to fight against them. I would do my best to try and persuade them to stop. And I just kind of like falter in the middle of the sentence. 'Cause I feel like I've kind of been like working through that question and answering it.
She nods. That, I believe, is the way of the paladin. I would admit you if you would be admitted.
And I'm like, yes, please.
All right. I will still get back to, I'll have to check with the Hemomancy Center and make everything official, but I would be glad to welcome you into the Diligent Order.
And I'm like, yay! High five, kitty.
I'm like, congrats!
Tarsus finally takes her hand off of your shoulder, Tlawin.
And I'm like, okay, Edward, this is your new home. And I just kind of like plop him down.
I'm like, so Tarsus, you put your hand on my shoulder because we're friends now, right?
She glares at you.
It's a friendship glare. It's what Bly gives us all the time.
Oh, thanks for clearing that up. I was worried.
Kadahai says, I will also have to get your chambers ready. They haven't been used for a while, so if you'll give me some time to get all of that done, everything should be in order fairly soon.
Like, say, conveniently after dinner?
Likely, as long as there are no problems with the Hemomancy Center or any of the information that you filled in.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much.
So you didn't have to answer that one question after all.
Well, she wrote down something.
Oh.
As an aside, it's like flashing forward to modern life. Oh man, it made me think of like you guys probably had this when you took like your driver's license exam, and they would just like periodically nod and write notes on their like evil clipboard of doom, and you'd be like gripping that steering wheel, being like, "Am I doing this right?"
Yeah,
I don't know if you had that experience.
It's like you got enough of it right to pass.
Yeah.
So, what's next?
I guess we either go to one of the question marks or the person who Tarsus knows.
And I'm like, please, for the love of Gardagar, go to see this bard person because I don't trust these question marks. There's some stick figure horse. What does it mean? He's just like eating what looks to be. I don't even know what that is. I don't know what the picture of.
Those are oats.
Sure, they're oats.
Well, I'm not particularly an expert in these things, but I'm taking you to someone who might be.
Well, I guess I could ask him about the school.
Yes! Did you realize this?
Or I could ask the school about him. Be like, hey, yo, school, do you know about this guy?
Oh my god. Even Edward's like shaking his head. Just like,
You put your hand on his head to move it.
Like, no. No, I didn't. What are you talking about? I'm like a ventriloquist. That's totally the same thing, right? And I'm like, okay, lead us to your bar, your friend. I tell Tarsus, or at least tell him we're going to the school and actually go to the bard instead.
No, it's fine. We can meet this guy. I just want to check out the school. Also, it doesn't matter what order we do it in.
Tarsus mentions also, Lamarck is a woman. Not everyone can tell since she's lizard folk, but thought you might like to know.
Thank you.
Right. Now.
Yeah, most lizard folk are actually female.
That makes sense.
So do they do parthenogenesis, or?
Yes.
So like, is only one of the moms the like biological mom, and the other one's like stepmom, basically?
I did say that Kotaro looked a lot like Kotaro.
So they're like, she's like her clone, basically.
I mean, it sounds weird when you say it like that.
But yes. Okay. Let's go.
Okay. So you get out of that kind of dismal area. Tarsus kind of has to check a few different places along the way, but eventually you stop outside a tavern in a ritzier part of town. The tavern is made of polished wood with geometric carvings and has large glass windows made of many smaller diamonds. Some of them.
Oh my god! This is fancy.
Some of the diamonds are colored blue or green. The doors stand open to let what little wind there is come through, and you can hear an epic in progress. Tarsus doesn't even have to go in. She's just like, yep, Lamarck's in there. You can go on in without me.
Okay.
Well, without you, how are you supposed to introduce us to her when you're not there?
You can just say that you're a bard looking for training.
Is there a reason you don't want to introduce us directly, personally?
Is there a reason you didn't tell me you were noble at first? Because that came as a bit of a shock.
I didn't? Huh, I guess I just didn't mention it. I wasn't hiding it.
And I'm like, I'm not noble.
What a relief.
I thought I mentioned it.
Why are we getting upset?
I don't know. Is this a problem?
She's like, I don't deal with nobles.
Just, just that we barely know each other, and we don't tell each other everything.
I thought I
You
did tell
haven't told us everything about you either, so...
Yes, exactly.
I thought I do tell everyone everything about me. Actually, it just takes a while to get it all out.
Story within an evening.
Of course, that was when I was 11, so it didn't take as long.
Look, this place isn't really my scene. Now, I think you're a big boy and can do this alone.
And I'm like, yeah, you're a big boy. You can do this alone.
I'm like, oh, right. I mean, I just thought it would be nice to be formally introduced, and I'm a little bit confused.
I don't know her personally. I know of her, so my recommendation wouldn't really mean anything.
Oh, okay.
He just like walks right in.
Yeah. I guess I'll listen to the tail end of the epic. It's a little bit bad timing because it's like coming into a movie at the end of it. Not that I know what a movie is.
It's a moving
illusion.
Oh, moving illusion. Oh, by the mages. Oh.
I mean, this is a bard telling an epic, and bards have magic, so...
Well, that's true. There could be, like, elements of, like,
yeah.
Cool.
She's using illusions along with her storytelling, so some are visual,
Sweet.
some are sounds. But you do come in at the end of it, so it's over quickly.
Oh. I just don't understand why they wanted to kill that person and why that other person was kissing that person, and then the first person was mad that the person who kissed the person didn't kill the person who kissed.
And I just kind of like push it. I'm like, just go talk to him. I'll be here. I'll be waiting by the door. Just go.
So the bard in question, obviously, you can see who it is right when you walk in. And
she's freaking amazing.
Like, she's more of a slate gray color dusted with dusky blue, and wearing fairly nice clothing. I mean, it is a nice part of town as well.
Okay. I surreptitiously stick my leather armor into my bag so that my fine clothes are more visible and I look fancy.
Surreptitiously, you just start like stripping.
You're just like, wham! I'm coming for you. Wham!
I mean, I'm fully clothed under the armor, so it's not like I'm.
Oh, I know. It's still just kind of a funny mental image.
And I'm just like shaking my head, just like watching him, I
want to look impressive.
I'm just like, oh my gosh.
I'm trying to make a good first impression here.
Just go talk to her. Just go. Do it.
Okay, well, once I've done that, I sidle over. So, I can't actually say I'm a big fan of yours because I never heard of you before, but hey, I'm a bard.
New fans are always welcome.
So I heard that you're a bard person who is very skilled.
Yes.
And I aspire to be a bard person who would be very skilled. And I'm looking into, bardic education, especially from, like, magical standpoints. And, yeah.
I see. How did you hear of me?
It was this mysterious, strange, half-elf, cloaky person named Tarsus. And if you want a little sample of my skills, I can sing you a song about her.
Do, go ahead. Make a performance check, by the way.
Okay. before I start singing.
Yeah.
Let's see, that's a 19 plus whatever my bonus is, which I guess is a plus. So that's a 25. So I must be doing well.
Wow.
We saw her in her cloak, and she lied to us. Lies. So we killed some bushes for her, and the bushes were dead for no reason at all. Then we broke into the house, and the owner, he was scared. Tarsus made us do it, though. She made us do it, yeah.
You're not painting Tarsus out to be a very good person.
But it's all okay now, 'cause we're really good friends. Including the guy whose house we broke into, and he has this cute rosemary bush, which I think is lawful evil, but it's really cute anyway. I love that rosemary bush. So Tarsus, to make amends, is taking us to all the places that we want to go. First, I met her mom, number 1. There's another one. Then Skara went to the Paladin place. It was really run down, 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 down. And she had this quiz where she had to pretend that she didn't break into the house 'cause her friends wanted her to, but she passed anyway. And now I'm here.
Well, there's certainly some potential there. I can't say I've heard the story. But Tarsus, though, it's been a while since I've heard that name.
Yeah, so I don't know if you're looking for apprentices or if you just have some advice on bard schools, because I have this piece of paper. You can ignore the horse.
You just like ignored the whole like you kept asking about Tarsus, but you're just like, whatever. I just want to know.
I'm here for a reason.
I was wondering if like Skype had cut out and you guys hadn't heard that part.
No, we heard it.
Okay.
Ben's just choosing to ignore it, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I had something I was here for, so I'm...
You're not curious at all, Ben. You're like, nah.
Well, if you happen to be there and were listening in...
I guess I heard your song, and maybe that drew me in closer. And
Because, like, I actually rolled well.
yeah, I was like, oh man, that was pretty good. You know, I think initially I stayed back, like, near the door, but as you sang, I came closer, and sure, why not? I think I guess I heard her question about Tarsus and you asking the question about the paper, and I'm like, wait, hold on. How do you know Tarsus?
Oh, fellow fan, I am speaking with another bard right now, if you'll give me a moment.
I'm like, oh, right. Yeah, I'm the dwarf that you mentioned in that song. Hey, I'm Skara.
Yeah, she's the one who passed the test.
Ah,
Did you know that even if she had a cold, she would still go out and fight monsters?
It's true. I just eat a raw potato to make myself feel better.
So that work was autobiographical. Well, if you wish to study further as a bard, I do have an opening for apprentice, or I studied myself with the fair scene troupe, although they travel around.
Okay. So they're not on the list.
I don't know
And
what
I'm
list.
The list, this piece of paper.
She's just like milk, butter.
Not that part.
Let's see. Question mark, question. What is this even pointing to? Well, on here is the Karshu School for Liminal Magics. That's, well, it closed, although Antimone took it over. I don't know if I'd recommend it, but I suppose it's a possibility.
Well, I am interested in learning more about magic theory as well as bardic practice.
And I'm like, you still haven't answered my question about Tarsus.
The bard, like, she just kind of holds up a hand towards you as she's thinking.
And I'm like,
I'm like, patience is a virtue when it's other people rather than me being patient.
Well, if you're studying with me or with the fair scene troupe, that would be more practical tutoring, I would think.
I mean, I could also just like spend time at the library or something. I'm sure there's lots I can study there.
I have to say that Antimone, he's the leader of the fair scene troupe. He did take over the School for Liminal Magics as one of his not so advised get-rich-quick schemes, and it's still a school.
That's not a big important.
and I'm like,
It would give you the theory of things, and depending on which visiting professors they have at the moment, it's possible there could be some good...
some limited education involved.
It would give you more of the theory as well as the practice.
And I'm like, I don't like the sound of that school. It sounds like they're just trying to, like, get people in for the money. And you're just like, shut up, fool. I have money.
I was actually about to say, I have money. I mean...
Do what you want.
Well, do you plan on doing much traveling, or would you like to stay in the city? A lot of people want to stay in the city, and so I cannot recommend them for the fair scene troupe. I also sometimes move around, although I do find that when I make my rounds, I do bring in a goodly sum just in the City of Argent itself.
I was probably planning on staying in this area for the next, at least the immediate future.
And all of us kind of started out here being like, adult, right?
Well, you could always try something, and then if it doesn't suit you, you could just move on.
So, do any of these other names on this list mean anything, or is it pretty much just that liminal magic place?
Let me see.
Also, your epic was cool, although I have no idea what was going on because I only came into the last 10 minutes of it.
Thank you, kind friend. I shall have to recount the full history for you sometime.
Yay! Why did the person kill the person who kissed?
Well, for that, you would need the entire story.
Could
On your little sheet of paper here,
yeah.
I do see Shinrea, but I don't think that will help you. It's more for wizards. Who
That
gave this
makes
to you,
sense.
by the way?
One of my fathers. who
see.
is a wizard.
I see. So not as in tune with the bard lifestyle. Normally, I would recommend the Fairstein Troupe. It's the highest, most elite school for bards, but they do travel all over to give their students experience with other cultures' stories, songs, and venues.
Well, maybe eventually. That would be awfully interesting. But at the moment, I think I was trying to get a base here, and check out the things in the city and family connections that I'm actually probably not supposed to get into.
Family connections you're not supposed to get into. That sounds interesting.
Yeah. I'm
No,
excited.
don't do it, I say. You still haven't answered my question about how you know Tarsus.
She holds up her hand again. Please, loyal fan, I am speaking with a fellow bard here.
I just Chuck Edward at Plowin. Well, now he's speaking to the cat.
I'm like, oh, by the way, speaking of interesting connections, I understand you have some kind of past connection with Tarsus. And since we're already on the topic of connections, I'm curious what the nature of this connection might be.
She's like a slippery snake. I don't trust her.
No, I believe it was just the name that was familiar to me. I don't believe I know your Tarsus.
Well, then what's your Tarsus like?
She glances to Tlawin before answering, to see if he might, if he actually wants to keep going on this.
Do you know a different Tarsus? I say, by way of translation.
I'm curious, goddammit. You brought it up for a reason, and I want to know.
I translated from Paladinese to Bardese.
I see, very helpful. Well, it's a rather tragic story.
I could sing it if you want.
Yes, it was definitely a different Tarsus. Sounded like yours was female and alive, so that's a little different.
Okay, I think she's female.
Well, it's really the alive bit that's the more important part in that sentence. See, I used to work with House Riadni sometimes. They would want a bard for their feasts. That family, they were a happy family at one point. House Riadni and House Tenebrim, both together. They had several children, but one after the other, their children died.
Oh.
At first, it was their eldest, Elgin. He had been heir to House Tenebrim, House Tenebrim being the Lord's house and Riadni being the Lady's house. Several years, and everything seemed fine. Tarsus, who was now the eldest brother after Elgin had died, and thus heir to House Tenebrim. Tarsus died then. It's also fairly mysterious concerning his death, but there was an elaborate funeral. Lord Tenebrim didn't seem to be able to take it. After all that tragedy, the Lady Riadni left, and I haven't been invited into House Riadni anymore. Everything was left to their youngest daughter, now Lady Aressa Riadni. That was the Tarsus I knew, just one in a long line of tragedies.
Yeah, that seems like quite a bit. Sorry all that happened. Yeah, I guess that answers that question, right?
Whose Tarsus to you? I'm satisfied, I guess. So yeah, I guess you have a decision to make, Ben. Do you wanna stick around with this interesting person, or do you wanna go to the people who will swindle you out of your money?
That seems like a somewhat loaded way of putting it.
Well, if you want to stick in town, a lot of bards do move around.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. I mean, I feel like I got a lot of wandering done up until the age of 11, so I can tell you about my childhood sometime, but maybe not now.
Make it into a song and then I'll listen.
She's like, otherwise I'm not interested.
I mean, I actually did that, but it seems like that made everybody else less interested, so I stopped.
My friend, not everyone understands the way of the bard.
You're so cool.
I know.
And she just like an anime person, just like glitter, swoops back her. She doesn't have hair, but pretends that she has hair, and like sparkles come out.
Her like scaly frill. Does she have a scaly frill?
Sure.
I mean, she can like do a pose and her eyes can glitter, and like there can be roses in the background.
Okay.
She
Perfect.
she
Using
can actually
her illusions.
yeah she can do that using her illusions. So she does that. It's canon.
I go all like, I can make one rose appear.
It's like a really sad rose.
Like it looks like a child drew it or something.
It looks like your dad drew it.
Oh, that's what the horse was eating. Well, I will want to check out that liminal magic place, but I also would probably, just to be sure I cover all those bases, but I probably would be interested in mentoring under you because you're so awesome. So if I want to meet you again, should I just come here again, or what should we plan?
Oh, I have my circuit, if not in this tavern, this street, this is Innsmeet Street. Anywhere along this street you might find me.
Okay. I guess
Is it because it's the street where the inns meet? Did my 10 non-intelligence figure it out?
Yes, Anna.
Good. I feel proud of this.